Imagine staring into a mirror that doesn't just reflect your face, but time itself. A mirror so powerful that instead of your reflection, it shows you the infancy of the universe, those first fragile moments when existence was still wrapping itself around its very first breath. That's what the James Webb Space Telescope was built to do. But what it found was not infancy. It wasn't a cosmic cradle. It was something else entirely. A contradiction, a cosmic impossibility. And what Webb revealed didn't just stun astronomers. It shook the very skeleton of modern physics. For decades, scientists thought they had the timeline figured out. First came the Big Bang, then darkness, then slowly the birth of stars, galaxies, and eventually life. The further back you look, the simpler it should be: scattered hydrogen, loose particles, chaos. But when Webb pointed its golden mirrors at a quiet patch of sky, one of those black voids where nothing was supposed to be, it saw something that should never have existed at that time. Not a smear of light, not a haze, but a fully formed galaxy, spiral arms wrapped like ribbons of starlight, star clusters orbiting in harmony, and at its core a monstrous black hole, not forming, already thriving, and this wasn't a fluke. As the data poured in, more galaxies appeared, structured, chemically mature, gravitationally stable. It was as if the cosmic clock had skipped billions of years and jumped straight into maturity. Each new image made one question echo louder. What if everything we thought we knew about the beginning is wrong? When Webb captured one of these galaxies, over 13 billion light-years away, it should have been faint, almost invisible. But instead what stared back was breathtaking. Spiral arms stretching outward, clusters orbiting in balance, and a glowing, energetic core. This wasn't something forming. It was something already formed, and not just barely formed. It looked like something billions of years ahead of schedule. That's why it's baffling. Galaxies aren't supposed to appear this way so early. The accepted story says matter started spread thin, pulled slowly together by gravity, collapsing into stars, then galaxies, over immense timescales. But Webb saw evidence that this entire process had already happened, and far too quickly. It was like walking into a forest where a seed had just been planted and finding a fully grown redwood tree. And these galaxies weren't isolated. Webb uncovered more and more of them, scattered across the sky, each one displaying maturity and organization that shouldn't have been possible. This wasn't a glitch in the instruments. The instruments were perfect. What wasn't working was our understanding of the universe. Then came the chemical shock. When astronomers analyzed the light from these galaxies, they didn't just find hydrogen and helium. They found oxygen, carbon, even iron. These are heavy elements that can only exist after stars have lived, died in supernova explosions, and spread their contents back into space. That cycle takes time, hundreds of millions, even billions of years. But these galaxies were less than 400 million years old. That means not only had the first stars already formed and died, but the cycle of death and rebirth had already happened more than once. The early universe, it seemed, wasn't quietly waking up. It was sprinting, burning, exploding, and recycling material at impossible speed. And the presence of these elements raises an even deeper question, because they're not just the ingredients for stars, they're the foundation for planets, atmospheres, even life. To find them so early is like stumbling across a thriving coral reef at the base of a volcano that only erupted yesterday. The timeline doesn't just feel rushed, it feels broken. And just when it seemed it couldn't get stranger, Webb found something that broke the rules even more. Deep in the heart of one of these galaxies sat a supermassive black hole, weighing over 1 billion times the mass of our Sun. Even today, that would be incredible. But in the early universe, it's cosmologically absurd. Black holes are supposed to grow gradually, forming from collapsed stars and feeding for billions of years. Even the most optimistic models can't explain something this massive appearing so soon. It was like finding a fully grown adult who was born just an hour ago. The math doesn't work. And yet, there it was. So now scientists are considering radical possibilities, Primordial black holes formed from density fluctuations at the dawn of time. Exotic particles. Dark matter shaping the early cosmos in ways we never expected. These aren't tweaks to existing models. These are entirely new blueprints for reality. Because Webb hasn't just shown us anomalies. It has revealed a universe that seems to be behaving in reverse, where complexity comes before simplicity, where ancient light carries blueprints that shouldn't exist. Some propose that dark matter may have been more active than we thought, creating scaffolds that galaxies built upon. Others suggest that time itself may have flowed differently, stretched in ways we can't yet detect, letting eons of evolution unfold in what looks to us like mere flashes. And then there's the chilling idea that maybe complexity wasn't the endpoint of evolution at all. Maybe it was the beginning. As more data flowed in, researchers noticed something even stranger. The galaxies weren't just surprising because of their maturity. Their shapes carried a repeating pattern, a mathematical ratio eerily similar to the golden spiral. This wasn't random. It was structure. A hidden geometry stretching across billions of light years, linking systems in elegant alignment. The layout of matter itself looked fractal, patterned, as if the universe had been coded from the very start. But coded by what? A law deeper than physics, or something far more disturbing? Evidence of intention embedded into space-time itself. Then came perhaps the most controversial discovery. In a supposedly empty region of space, Webb detected faint traces of complex organic molecules. Not just methane or ammonia, but polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, the building blocks of amino acids and, by extension, life. And they weren't attached to stars or planets. They were drifting freely, intact for nearly 13 billion years. That meant the ingredients of life weren't a late development. They were there from almost the beginning. If true, life isn't a cosmic accident. It's a feature, a constant, a thread woven into the universe itself, and then the image that silenced even skeptics. Webb captured 6 galaxies arranged in a perfect formation, like petals around a flower, orbiting in near synchronization. A structure so precise, no natural model could explain it. Scientists called it the flower. Some argued it was a coincidence, others blamed lensing or turbulence, but a few whispered that maybe, just maybe, it was intentional. A marker, a signpost, a calling card, waiting billions of years for us to notice. Finally came the most unsettling idea of all. What if our act of observation is influencing what we see? In quantum physics, the observer effect says particles behave differently when measured. But what if that principle doesn't stop at particles? What if the universe itself responds to being observed? Some physicists are starting to notice subtle shifts in Webb's data over time, as if the universe is aware of our attention. If true, then we aren't just exploring, we're participating, co-authoring reality itself. What Webb has revealed is not just about stars or galaxies or dust, it's about truth, a truth so vast and so ancient that to glimpse it is to feel the scaffolding of reality tremble beneath your feet. We didn't just see the unimaginable, we unlocked it, not by force, but by daring to look. Galaxies too mature, chemistry too complex, patterns too perfect, signals too aware. Webb has shown us that the universe is more mysterious than we imagined, and that maybe it's aware of our imagination. Maybe we didn't find the edge of the universe, maybe we found its memory, and maybe it remembered us. So the question isn't just what did Webb see? The real question is, what saw Webb? If that left you shaken, if the patterns felt too sharp, the timing too perfect, the revelations too synchronized, then you're not alone. Keep watching, because the next signal may already be incoming.